So, the stereo in my kitchen has died, or more specifically, the amplifier portion of the component system is not working correctly. I'm gonna slap that, it's probably capacitors button, but I need something to listen to music in the kitchen. And I picked this up, and I didn't need it, and there was no reason for me to pick it up, but doesn't it look cool? It's like low-end 80s Sansui. And it almost works just fine. So if I go here, this has kind of a cheap plasticky tuner, but it does have shortwave, and it does have that neat feature where the tuning indicator tells you when you're on a station, which is kind of fun. So it does work, but the stations are all out. Everything is shifted over, so there are some stations that drop past the 88 and compress down a little bit. So yeah, I could give it an alignment, but why is it like that? I'm suspecting capacitors. And the other issue, oh, it's got the nice VU. The other issue is the belt that drives the tape counter doesn't work. So when you hit play, it shuts off after a few seconds. Here, let's give this a try. Ooh, that's a well-worn tape. It is Dolby HX Pro. Interesting. Okay. Just pops in. This does have Dolby, so let's turn that on. I mean, not like it really matters. Go to tape, get some volume. Yeah, a little crackle there. Needs a little contact cleaner. And play. And that's all you get. But if you notice, the tape counter is not moving. So usually there's some sort of a sensor to detect that the reels are moving, like an auto shut off. And since this tape counter is not moving, I would assume that's the problem. Another weird issue is when you hit eject, the tape gets bunged up. You gotta kind of give it a pull. There's a little sensor here that hooks on to the record tab of the tape. Actually, I wonder if it does that for a tape that doesn't have, or that has the record tab in it. All right, let's try it with this guy. Huh, it's just fine. What's even on this tape?
Today's best rock.
So yeah, this needs a full cleaning, full service. Rewind and fast forward also don't work. So there's probably a little tire inside that's all worn out. Go back to radio. You know, you can actually hear the radio peeking through the tape monitor. Streaming audio.
When the holidays are over.
Seamless cut to after I ate the beef shawarma. Okay. Where were we? Oh yes, so this has two issues to deal with. There's also, I did take this apart to inspect inside, and someone had left batteries in this. So there was a lot of rust on the bottom plate for this bottom piece. It's actually two pieces here, pretending to be more. So the bottom of this was all rusty. I cleaned it and wire meshed it and did the vinegar and all that, but yeah, it is what it is. Don't leave batteries and things ever. So let's take a look. We have tape monitor, which is kind of nice. It's pretending to be one of the big boys. So you get indicators for tuner, phono, and tape. And then it also has an auxiliary input, a line level input, which is nice. It's a loudness control, balance, treble, and bass. You know, really showing that it's a fully fledged serious system. The tuner has shortwave bands, and it has a fine tuning adjustment for shortwave. So you just push this in and out, and just like pretend to be one of the big boys, it has FM muting when you're in stereo mode. So if I go back to radio, So let's get an idea of how far this is off. I'm going to tune up and see if we can find a station and then compare it. This is actually picking up pretty good for just being in the basement with a rod antenna. So let's compare this to my stereo. Okay, we're at 106, 106.1. That's weird. They're normally a different station. Okay, no, that matches. This is down at like 103 on here. Is this the planets? This kind of sounds like it's host planets. I'm so knowledgeable on classical music. So this should be 106. So even this one's a little bit off.
Energy 106, all the
Yeah, there we go.
We'll make some change.
Ontario sucks. Ontario sucks. Manitoba's population density is 1.9 people per square kilometer. Isn't that stupid? Saskatchewan is boring.
It's got great stereo separation though. I mean, it's a cheapy boombox. These are not large speakers. But I feel like it's kind of punching it above its weight in terms of just, you know, it's a nice pleasant sound for the kitchen. Anyway, I keep stalling. Let's open this up. And just a quick look at the back here. So we've got the rod antenna. We also have an external input for a external FM antenna. The speakers use those wacky little European speaker plugs with the flat and the not flat pins. The model number CP-5 for the receiver, CP-5. I think this is just called the CP-7. Oh, I wonder if this is common to the 7. This is the CP-5, and I think the CP-7 was the step up. It has this janky ribbon cable that goes from the main unit to the tape deck. But you'll see the tape deck also has RCA line in and out. And what's interesting, I was testing this, this ribbon cable handles the line in and out from here. So this is if you want to take this tape deck and run it separately. And this was really common with these mini systems, is that the cassette deck was actually a standalone component style cassette deck. I had a JVC cassette deck like this out of a boombox, and it was a really nice one. I actually have the Magnasonic boombox version of that JVC, which is black, not as nice looking. I'm showing a picture here. And that cassette deck ran just completely standalone. The previous owner had put a transformer and a power supply in the battery compartment to provide it the 12 volts. Is this 12 volts? Yeah, 12 volts in to run by itself. So that's kind of nice. And it came with an extra set of RCA cables if I need to hook that up. Power cable connection, maybe your phono and auxiliary. I'm guessing they're expecting you to share this ground between phono and the FM antenna. There's actually quite a bit going on in here. It's got a nice hefty transformer. It's nice and warm because I left this plugged in for a while I went and ate my dinner. And you know, it's warm to the touch, but not too bad. So power comes in here, got a little power switch with the across the line cap, which I'm not really going to touch, even though it's probably not the right one to today's standards. I like how they put this over it, so if it does explode, it doesn't like make a huge mess. Or is that just to protect it against other stuff touching it so it can just float here because it's on mains voltage? Power supply, big caps, big bridge rectifier diodes, and it looks like the tuner's here. I'm starting to second guess if I want to deal with the capacitors. This is performing very nicely if you ignore it being off on the dial. So I wonder if I could just align it and see what happens. So in worst case, if the alignment doesn't go well, then I have to, you know, start checking caps. But yeah, let's see. Good news, there's a service manual online for free. And before I go ahead, I think I'm just going to do an FM dial calibration. The AM seems good enough. So if we take a look here, I'm at like, I think it's 1290, 1220 or 1290 is the comedy station.
But there's nothing better.
Oh no, that's 1290.
So much fun here I have.
For Chambers as executive director of the Empowerment
That's
Council.
990.
He wants to see more funding to fix the.
It's like 8 something. Oh, is that? No, that's 920. And that's 680. So it's a little bit on the far side there, but I mean, these were never super accurate on the dial. It's FM that I need to set up.
Along with her older siblings, has been at the shelter for over 2 months, waiting for the right people to adopt her. If you're looking to adopt or know someone that is, check out our forever.
I feel like I'm chasing this station. It was up here, and it's moving its way down.
Any crashes or stalls, we do still have that.
So I had this unplugged for a little bit, and I think something's warming back up. Oh look, so now I turn it down.
Northbound Harrow in the curb lane, Sparling to Taylor. We've also got that closure on.
So it's going to keep moving down. So something's heating up. Now it's gone. I lost that station altogether.
Long before the white man and long before the wheel, when the green dark forest was too silent to be real, when the green dark forest was too silent to be real.
I think I know the culprit. There's something loose here at this adjustment. When it goes dead, see now it's dead. Oh, it's actually just way off. This is like 107. Yeah, it's going wacky. This thing, I can't tell if it's loose or someone's messed with it. It really seems to be this specific tuning slug here. See if I can back up, get some better view. I wonder if there might be something wrong with this guy.
And as a Manitoba dairy,
Your game's gonna lead to that pit. You were the angel.
All right. Did very rough alignment. The service manual doesn't quite match what's in here. Some of the controls, like TC3, literally doesn't exist. What I ended up using is this trimmer here for the high to compensate on the high side of the dial, and then L4 here for the low side. I don't think that was the right one, but the reason I moved to this one is that this thing is super sensitive. This is what, if I'm like, every time that it would drift or go out, I would smack this and it would come back. So I drenched this in contact cleaner and worked it back and forth. Same thing with the tuner. It seems more stable now, but it still sometimes flips out. So I don't know. I think that one's could be a problem, or I might just have no idea what I'm doing. That's also possible. So let's see what we get now.
Voilà, c'est quand même
Oh my god.
des raisons très mystérieuses pour moi.
French.
From 1995, this is I'll Be Home for Christmas by Oscar Peterson. And as you're about...
That's 89.3. It's kind of close. It's already drifted a little. French. 92.1.
You're listening to our Best of Zabava collection with the late Nestorko.
92.9. 93.7. 94.3.
And the New Testament begins with John the Baptist.
I don't know, 94.7, I'm not, or maybe 95.1, yeah. 95.9.
Now the puck bounces off of Biog's chest on the block. It goes right to Alex Ovechkin.
97.5.
Have yourself a merry
99.1. 99.9. 100.5. 101.5.
Christmas, you see. So we're starting the season.
102.3. 103.1.
Outlet.com.
You might want to extend your coffee break.
104.1. Maybe that's 104.1. I don't know. One of those is 104.1. 104.
Jimmy T.
The dial alignment is perfect now. Let's see if AM is still okay.
It's called Splash.
Yep. 1290. 990. I'm lucking out with some station idents tonight. I wouldn't expect to get much AM down here. This exact workbench is like just a noise machine. If you've ever seen me play around with other AM radios, you got to pretty much take them outside or somewhere, I don't know, camping. Take this camping for better reception. There, I'll do that. Anyway, I'm happy enough with this that I'm going to close it up now. Maybe just run some contact cleaner on the volume control. Although it's not bad. No, that could use a little bit. I'll run some contact cleaner on there. And then let's take a look at the cassette deck. Alright, so took the top off. Took this little metal plate off so that I can see inside the back. Already, take a look. There's like just no belt on the counter at all. And there is my rubber wheel for fast forward and rewind. So let me see what it does here. Let me get this hooked up. Found the belt. And of course it's turned to goo. There. All good and ready for a new belt. Apparently my phone decided to delete some footage, so let's catch up. I've got a belt in for the counter on the take-up spool. And if we can get some light here, this is the tire for fast forward, rewind, and take up in play mode. Completely slipping. And I just decided to take a cheapo Dremel tool to it. And I just put it on this safety pin, bent the end there, and just gave it a few zips with the Dremel. Okay, so of course this is not a great test. There's no tape in there, but it was not even spinning these reels at all with no drag. And that's working pretty decently. Let's do a rewind. Yeah, I was able to stop it there. Play's got a decent amount. I am able to slow it down. Yeah, ideally it would be best to replace this tire, but hey, in the meantime, those little clips that clip right there on the freaking tire, it's a transparent plastic over a beige colored wheel. And when you drop it and you lose it, oh, I see you. Okay, I went the harsh route and dunked this thing in Rubber Renew. Took the tire off the wheel and soaked it in that nasty horribleness. And I think this is about as good as I'm going to get without a new tire. Watch it bounce and rewind. And let me see if I can show that. So unlike a lot of these assemblies that I've seen that have some sort of spring that holds them in place, it's just this smooth plastic wheel spinning against the tire that does anything. It's really weird. So if I hit rewind, it just sort of bounces. Like, it's incredibly loose. I guess that's by design. I guess it's designed to rely very heavily on a nice soft rubber to hold it in place.
'92 City FM, today's best rock. Starting tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, all day long, every hour, up till 6 p.m., we're going to give away a pair of Neil Young concert tickets. Neil Young, presented by City FM, the Winnipeg Arena, October 28th. We want you to be there, and you can beat the box office all day long with your concert connection. 92 City. Coming up, the Screaming Trees, Van Halen, Space Hog, and here's the Gin Blossoms. Brand new song called As Long As It Matters. It's 92 City FM. We're playing today's best rock.
Forgive the not great tape. I like using these old tapes recorded off the radio back in the day. Still latching sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What eject is supposed to do is lift this record tab sensor up, and it appears to not do it enough.
When you were saying you were slipping and dipping and sliding.
Honestly, it sounds pretty good. Play works, fast forward and rewind, you saw it, kind of janky. But prove that this is a decent enough cassette deck if I can find a good replacement tire. I think for now I'm going to put it back together because I've done all I can in there. And yeah, capstan belt sounds just fine.
Slipping and then dipping. I was training.
Now, I mentioned the rust from leaky batteries. Yeah. Let's see, get them. This is after neutralizing and cleaning it. It just is what it is, man. The beat cancel switch, who knows if it's actually working. I'm probably never going to record on this, but some of the circuitry in here is pretty nasty from all the leaking battery corrosion goodness. I didn't get some footage of the inside of here, but just use your imagination on videos you've seen with damaged metal plates from battery corrosion. It's like that. There's just rust. So yeah, that was a look at this Sansui Boombox from, I never mentioned what year it is. I'm showing the year right here. It's from this year. And I kind of like it, despite the problematic and needing to be replaced tire in the tape deck. It sounds pretty decent. I didn't have to do any azimuth adjustments. The wow and flutter sound decent. It's just that tire, just a bit of rubber. Sports metal tapes. Not sure if recording, but it's got metal for at least playback. The radio actually turned out okay. That trimmer cap on top, once I worked in the contact cleaner, it doesn't seem to be giving me that problem. That might have actually been the only problem in there, which is weird because you think if you never touch it, it should never become a problem. But hey, whatever. But I guess all that's kind of irrelevant because in the kitchen, 99% of the use of this is just going to be a cheap Bluetooth receiver. All right, let's see what we got here. H163 pairing.
Paired.
Boobs, really? Okay.
Looking for a change, I can take you to the other side. You're feeling.
Sounds good to me. And really, that's all it's going to be used for. Anyway, Merry Christmas.